Hey Gators and sports fans, get all your Gator talk, news, analysis, and opinions on the Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning podcast. Find us on your favorite podcast platform or watch us on Facebook Live between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. every weekday. Pod Up, because we are Gator fans. So say it's great to be a Florida Gator.
Good morning and welcome to a Monday edition of Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. Large enough to serve you, small enough to carry. Got a lot to talk about. We'll be joined with JC here momentarily on the Titan MR hotline. I want to get your thoughts, questions, and comments after the Gators lose to UCF, which I anticipated. They had a couple of better players than we did, and it showed for sure. So I believe today, December the 27th, is the first official day of the Billy Napier era. So got a lot of work to do, but we got to trust what he's got going on, bringing in a lot of different people to run the organization, and should be a tough turnaround, but it's going to take some time. So we shall see. Also, if you missed it, a lot of NFL yesterday. What was that? Was that JC?
Yeah, here I am.
Oh, JC, good morning. How are you? You're on the Titan MR hotline. How about that?
That's exciting on this very mysterious, foggy morning here in Gainesville, Florida. So exciting. Yes. Have a Merry Christmas. I hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. Did you have a fantastic Christmas weekend, QB?
Yeah, just a normal. I mean, my family, we're so laid back. We don't do anything formal. It's all just chill and enjoy the time. So
good.
We're just discussing. We got a bunch of Facebook lives here popping up already.
Oh, Facebook lives.
Joseph saying here, brought to you by Metal Law.
Yeah.
Good morning, Shane. UCF was the better football team the other night. Yes, they were. They had the two best football players on the field, Bowers and O'Keefe or O'Keen. I can't remember his I think it was O'Keefe. Couldn't stop them. Tremendous turnout. Give Gasparilla Bowl a lot of credit. There's probably scattered some empty seats, but it was a tremendous atmosphere. I will say that.
How about that, QB? I mean, you would. That is probably the biggest surprise for me was just the environment for this game. 2 days before Christmas is certainly. I know UCF being there had a lot to do with it, but Florida fans too. And I just, I was surprised.
There was more UCF fans than Florida fans.
Yeah. I mean, and I think that comes to be expected. I mean, the UCF fans have already claimed state championships now. So they have a state championship. They have a national championship. It's a dynasty they got going. And pretty soon they'll probably have the Big 12 championship to go along with that. And then once they win the Big 12 championship, they'll probably win about 6 more national championships. And we've got a new dynasty in the state of Florida, right?
That's right. Cliff says here on Facebook Live, brought to you by Metal Law, still underused Damian Pierce, no question. I'll tell you this. I thought it was one of the worst games we've had all year, play calling wise. We threw the ball way too much, and not only did we, I have no problem calling a bunch of pass plays, but they were the least. Wait, how do I want to phrase this? Yeah. They were very, very low percentage pass plays. Okay, be a good passing team. Call plays where there are easy completions. And then you work in a couple of maybe difficult throws here and there. But it was awful, absolutely awful. I bit my tongue as much as I could. But yeah, we could have run the ball 60 times on those guys with Malik Davis and Damian Pierce. And for some reason, Garrett McGee thought he was working in a running shoot offense. And like I told you, I have no problem calling pass plays. But those pass plays, hell, I couldn't have completed some of them. Because there was no chance, and it just drove me insane.
Well, I'm happy that Shorter is going to be okay. I'm happy that the season is over for Florida football. I don't know if you could have predicted probably a worse outcome than what they've had this year. The changes that were made, the things that happened. This game is over. I want folks to forget about it. It means zilch as it relates to going forward now for Florida football. Everything has to be forgotten about this season. It does, because you can't take one thing from this season and be positive about what's coming up for Florida football. It is time to just throw the tapes out, forget about it, be done with it, start fresh, start new. You'll have the football facility start cranking up here soon. You've got one more signing period to try to get some more players and to try to get some more folks from the transfer portal to come in here. And you've got a new start, a fresh start. You've got to just put this season. This was going to be, and I don't try to overstate things. I'm not really going to try to embellish anything here, but I would say this was one of the most disappointing seasons that they've had around here. They lost their coach. Maybe it was necessary, maybe it wasn't. But remember, he won a lot of football games. He won a lot of football games before this season happened to him. And maybe it was just necessary to get things on the right track. But everybody believed this time last year that Florida football was on the right track, and it didn't seem to be that way after we finished with this year. So it's a good thing to finish. It's good that it's over with. Forget about the dumb UCF game. It was a nice event. Some of these players, I'm sure, enjoyed getting to be out there one last time in the orange and blue. Pierce, you mentioned what a fantastic player he's been. I think timing just worked against him. And now we've got a new life to look forward to here in the next 8-9 months under this new coach. And he's here for a while, folks. So regardless of what you think, if things go a little south to start off the next year, he ain't going nowhere for a very, very long time. So he's going to be your coach for a long time. This is Florida football, what you've got coming, and you need to forget about what we just went through. That's the best advice I can give to Florida fans.
Well, I think Florida fans, Chad says here, fans were upset that Napier got rid of that entire coaching staff. I don't know why. We were a very poorly coached football team with very below average talent for Southeastern Conference. John says, I thought Mullen did a great job of disguising Emory all year. McGee calling 36 pass attempts for EJ was ridiculous. It was the pass plays call. I have no problem calling 36 pass plays. I'm telling y'all, and there's a bunch of people here ripping on Emory, and I get it, but I'm telling y'all, they were the worst pass pattern combinations. They made no sense, and receivers didn't get open. He threw a great fade ball one time, and Rick Wells tripped over his feet. Perfect throw, should have been called. So it's a combination of everything. We should have just run the foot. We shouldn't even attempted a pass in that game. Ventrell Miller's coming back, as well as Justin Shorter, who is he's at home. He's all good. He's coming back for his senior year or his second senior year, I guess. Yeah. Cliff said we had some deep open receivers. Emory couldn't make the throw. He overshot a couple, but that happens. I'm not here defending Emory. I don't think he's a very good thrower. I respect everything he's done. I'm sitting here telling you that UCF had the two best players on the field. Their running back and their receiver were better than ours. Simple as that. And that goes to show you from a talent standpoint. Jerry here says, JC, how about them Cowboys?
Man, wasn't that exciting for all the Dallas fans? And I love it because, I like Dallas, and that defense, baby, is alive. Something about when they play Washington gets them to really focus and center and play a really strong game. And if they play offense as well as they did last night, and I'm not suggesting they will, but if they're as effective offensively with that defense, you have to see them as one of the teams that can challenge Green Bay or the Rams in the NFC. And there's no doubt in my mind they've got the talent to be on that field with anybody. So what they did last night was tremendous because it helped my fantasy team that I'm in with another league with Yahoo. 16 teams in the league. We're in the championship final, and they were my defense last night with a block punt and a pick six. So I'm all excited about the Star, and I'm going to Dallas here in a few days, and we're going to celebrate the semifinal game, assuming it's still being played, with Alabama and Cincinnati. And when they're not playing, I'm going to wear this here blue hat that I got with this star. So I'm happy for the Cowboys.
JC, I don't know if you heard this, but when Texas A&M pulled out of the Gator Bowl, there was conversations of the Gators playing Wake Forest this week after playing UCF.
I'm glad that didn't happen.
Well, yeah. It'd been a nice payday.
Well, it could have been, but I don't think it's a money thing that's important around here. I think it's finishing this season as quickly as possible. That was important, and I think also what was important was that UCF. Imagine the reaction you would have heard out of Orlando if Florida had dumped them to go play Wake Forest. I mean, that never that.
Well, no. The talk was play the
next
game against UCF and then go play a week later. It's just like playing back-to-back road games.
I don't think that's. You think that's a good idea, QB?
Well, they're not doing it, so it doesn't matter.
I know. But do you think that
it was offered?
Oh, okay. Well, they're desperate. They're trying to find games.
I will say this. No, I will say this. If we had a coaching staff in place, I would say yes, it'd been great.
Okay. Well, maybe, but these players, I just don't think. I mean, Emory Jones is transferring out. What's he need to play another football game in Florida?
I'm not talking about the team that you just saw. I'm just saying in general. If Billy Napier was our football coach in year one and they asked us to do that, I think it would have been a good thing.
Okay. Well, maybe. I mean, I don't know what Billy Napier's got to present here yet. No, we don't know who's playing. It's a hypothetical that is nice to think about, I guess. But I don't know if this whole thing with the bomb. I guess this is just going to. I'm just going to have to say this. I just think that the anti-scientific stupidity that is basically rooted in as fear, as opposed to national decision-making by adults. This is a Clay Travis treat. He says, the triumph of anti-scientific stupidity rooted in fear as opposed to rational decision-making by adults means we've failed college kids with these absurd COVID protocols, testing asymptomatic and healthy kids and canceling bowl games. And I agree with him. No bowl games should be getting canceled over COVID. It's embarrassing that any college kid is being held out of playing over an asymptomatic virus infection that poses zero risk to them. Yes, that's right. I think what we're seeing here is a lot of these teams just don't want to play it. And that's why I don't think you'd ever see Florida want to do something like that. They just don't want to play these games. I'm almost convinced of it, QB. I'm almost
Well, you don't want Florida doesn't want to go 6-8 either.
Okay, so 6-7. So would 7-7 make you happy then? I mean, I don't think that's...
I'm just saying I don't have a problem with it because I think if you had a coaching staff in place, that's more time that you can get people ready to play.
I don't see the point. I know Wake Forest has got a...
Well, it's a moot point because it ain't happening. But it did.
Right, but
they did offer it to us.
Offering. Okay. Well, all right, sure. I mean, they're trying to find teams, and I understand. And here we are have the Sun Bowl. University of Miami is not going to play in the Sun Bowl now, right? I'm sure there will be a few more coming up. But again, I think these games getting canceled over COVID is an embarrassing failure. If anybody does any kind of research and understands what's going on with this Omicron variant that's killed nobody, I don't think it's making sense. I think these protocols need to be updated, QB. I don't think these games pose any risk to these young people or their coaches and staff. I don't see it. And I think it's a lazy way of getting out of having to do something. And I don't think these kids that at the University of Miami, maybe they wanted to go to El Paso, maybe they didn't, but it didn't seem like the school was very interested in it. You cancel literally a game in Hawaii after a team lands on your stinking island and you tell them, oh, by the way, thanks for coming, but we're not playing. Kiss my rear end. They should have paid every one of those Memphis football players money and their staff a lot of money for having to go through that. That's not right. And I don't want to hear this crap about COVID and the Omicron variant in Hawaii, okay? They should have played that game. Hawaii didn't want to play the damn game. That's the thing. And if they didn't want to play the game, they should have told Memphis to stay the hell home and don't fly from Memphis to Hawaii. Stay home. If we're so damn worried about COVID, why are you flying to Hawaii? So it's a joke. I think it's wrong. I'd be raging pissed if I was one of these coaches that actually wanted to do this and something like this happened because some administrator thinks this Omicron variant is going to flatline my entire team. It's ridiculous. So I'm sorry if you disagree. Folks disagree with that and they want to go sit in the house. You can stay home. You don't have to play. You can stay the hell home. And, maybe that's what the problem was, is that a lot of guys didn't want to play. So let's just call that out. I don't want to hear it about the asymptomatic football players getting tested positive for the Omicron variant. Baloney. It's the fact is these teams don't want to do this. They don't want to play. And I'm convinced A&M didn't want to play. I'm convinced Hawaii didn't want to play. I am absolutely convinced Miami does not want to play this game. That's what I'm convinced of.
We got a text here on the Titan MR text line from Daryl. He says, "Good morning, guys. Damian Pierce is a class act saluting the band after the game. I don't expect an SEC title next year, but we don't need to keep losing to the likes of Kentucky and South Carolina." That's the thing. You got to go 9-3, worst case scenario every year. I think Billy Napier will get this team. He's going to weed out all the kids that do not need to be on this team, and that will be the best start, and that will be the best thing that he possibly can do. And some have transferred already, which is a good thing. And, so, yeah, Jacob Copeland is gone. We will not miss him. Mahmoud Diabate is transferring. We will not miss him. Good luck to those kids, but he's going to go get quality players that are going to bust their tails every time they step on that football field. And that's it. It's very simple. Chris says Shane Pierce's lack of use. Oh, man, it went away. Where is it? These things jump around. Here it is. Pierce's lack of use in his career will help him in the pros. Very little mileage on those legs. Yeah, very true. But I could care less. I mean, I want him to have a successful year, but I think Gator fans would prefer to have him get to use his abilities for us. John says that now Memphis can't play another bowl game because they have forked out money to travel to Hawaii. They don't pay for the travel. The Aloha Bowl or Hula Bowl or whatever it's called pays for all their travel. We got a bunch of COVID stuff here. I'm not going to read all that. I'm not interested in it.
Well, you may not be interested in it, QB, but it's interested in you because this is affecting what's going on out there. And that's in the sports world.
I understand that.
Okay,
yeah.
So why aren't you interested in
putting together one heck of a staff? I don't understand. I don't understand the especially in the National Football League, their testing procedures when it is really. And I know this sounds silly, but it's affecting games and playoffs when those if they have no symptoms but they test positive and they've been vaccinated.
I just got done ranting about
should be able to play.
QB, I just got done ranting about that with the college bowl games.
I'm talking about in the NFL because the bowl games, the bowl games are a reward. I'm talking about teams in the National Football League losing games that are in the playoff hunt is costing them postseason play.
Okay. Well,
see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I mean, Cleveland has been decimated. I think it's ruined their season, obviously. I say that it could have done that to the Rams too, but the NFL adjusted the protocols by playing the game later in the week on a Tuesday, which was typically an off day for them. So yeah, I see that. But if you're telling me that there's a huge risk to these young, healthy players, then you're not looking at the science, okay, about Omicron. I'll argue with anybody about that because I'm pretty sure I know what I'm talking about here. And I think that it's a shame that these games are being canceled. You think Memphis really, really, really wanted to play that game? I think they did because they flew out there and tried to play it. And then they were told to turn around and go home. I mean, and then Miami's pulling the same thing with poor old Washington State. Washington State has probably the most stringent, and Washington State, the state, has one of the most stringent COVID protocols in the country, and they got a football team in El Paso waiting on somebody to play them. I think they should call UTEP, the Miners, and say, hey, strap it up. Let's play Washington State. The Cougars literally put out a tweet from the university.
Well, UTEP's already played their bowl game.
Okay, well, Florida already played theirs, and we were talking about them playing another one. The point is that Washington State is sitting there advertising, will someone please play us here in El Paso? Please, somebody. SMU, maybe? SMU canceled too. They didn't want to play. So yeah, that could have been an easy trip for SMU to go to. Quick 1 hour flight. So I don't know. Washington State wants to play a football game in El Paso. They have advertised on their Twitter site that they are begging for somebody to play with them. So they wanted to play. Miami said, we don't want to do this. Miami didn't want to get beat by Washington State. That's the first problem. The second one is there's nothing wrong with Miami's football team. Nobody is – it's just – it's such a joke, and I think it's affecting me because it bothers me that this is happening. And by the way, speaking of the bowl games, you got bombed. And on the NFL, you got bombed this weekend by me in the picks, just so that we make sure we get that taken care of. Yeah, let's just make sure we get that taken care of.
How did I get bombed?
Well, I had Missouri, you had Army. I had UCF, you did have UCF. But I also
Army won the game. Army won the game.
Not by 6.5. And I had.
Oh, I forgot.
I had Indianapolis. You had Arizona. I had the Rams. You had Minnesota. I had Tampa. You had Carolina. I had Kansas City. You had Pittsburgh. I had Dallas. You had Washington. Yes, you got buried. So let's just make sure we get that out there.
Like a big lead. James says here, brought to you by Titan MRI on the Titan MRI text line. JC's on point with what's happening. They're screwing up games and cheating players out of playtime.
They are.
Here's one on Facebook Live that I wanted to read. Devin says, Shane, is there any truth about the coaches partying and Copeland getting caught smoking weed the night before the game? Have you heard this? I've not heard that. I wouldn't know anyway. Yeah, I have no idea. There's no telling. But it's a good thing that he is no longer a Gator. That's all I know. So,
well, it's also a good thing that he's not hurt seriously. And I think it's a good thing.
Shorter. Shorter's still a Gator.
Yeah, he's
a first-class kid.
No, Copeland, you're talking about
he plays
Copeland.
Extremely hard.
Well, okay, but it's also good that Shorter's okay. But I think I just think that it's good that this is over for Florida. The football season needed to be over, and it needs to be forgotten. And I think it needs to be. I think everything has to go forward now. If you're serious about getting this program right, and I think that's where it's heading. I think everything is now moving forward. We can put this behind us. Let's hope for Emory Jones to get a good opportunity, maybe elsewhere. If you really like the kid and you care about the kid, you want him to succeed, then let's hope for him he's going to get an opportunity and do better wherever that ends up being. But for Florida, it's time to move on without him, and it's time to move on with the new sheriff that's in town. And he's going to bring his little Cowboys with him, and we're going to see what happens as we get ready for the offseason.
Yeah, Richard says, seems like portal mentality enhances this lack of team chemistry and me first, not team first thinking. It depends on who the kid is. A lot of it has to do with these kids coming out of high school now, thinking they're these 5-star, can't miss talent. And it's not really the portal, in my opinion. It's just how kids think these days. Gene wants to know what the standings are. JC, do you have any idea what the standings are
on our picks? Well, you said you were 10 games ahead. I will audit that and make sure that's accurate. I'm not sure, but you got buried this weekend. So how about that? It got close regardless. How's that?
All right. Chris says here, I know you guys, I love y'all, but he's taking time out from watching the show for a while. Stick to sports, what you know. It's nice that JC publicly pronounces these smarter, more knowledgeable, and has done better research than the medical doctors who advise the NCAA, the NFL.
Yeah, they're full of it. I don't care. This, you know what? Yes, I think so. I don't think there's one damn risk to these kids, and these asymptomatic exams are ridiculous. And that's how I don't care who's telling you otherwise. It doesn't matter to me because I can make my own decisions up. These guys didn't have to go if they were scared about it. And there's no risk to these kids. Not with this variant, there isn't. And so we're not talking about the original COVID or anything like that. We're talking about the Omicron variant. Do some research on that and tell the doctors too as well, because I disagree. I'm not a doctor, but I read enough from doctors that agree with me, and I agree with them. There's no risk for these kids. There's zero, or their staff. And if there was, then the staff member can stay home. He doesn't have to go. He doesn't have to be around these teams. So I'll argue with anybody until the cows come home on this deal, because I believe I'm right, and I really don't care if someone disagrees with that, and that's fine. They don't have to, but they are taking away something that they shouldn't be taking away from a very healthy kid, and that's not right. And I'm sorry. That's just the way I feel about it.
Turn your car or truck into a rolling billboard for your business brand with an eye-catching vehicle wrap from Wrap Spot. This December, mention promo code Shane and receive 13% off your vehicle wrap. What were you saying?
I just would like to know how you feel about this.
I don't understand. The whole college thing, I'm kind of the same way. I don't quite understand it, because I believe that if kids have been vaccinated and done everything they asked to play,
well, What are we talking about?
Right. Let me back up. Everything they've done that they've been asked to do, and they feel perfectly fine, I do think they should be able to play, because the Gators flew like 8 guys on a private plane when we played South Carolina, and they played with the flu.
Oh, my goodness. What if that had gotten out into the news? Oh,
it was. Everybody knew about it.
So they still played them.
Emory was one of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I really don't understand the National Football League's policy at all.
Well,
and I think a lot of those people do as well.
Well, yeah, that's a lot of money being involved here, probably more so than these bowl games are offering. But it does affect, what the results are. If that's what we care about, if we don't, then just forget about it, the whole damn thing. Okay, it's just a game we're playing. So if it's that big of a deal, just turn it off. Okay, that's the point. Is that I don't think it is, and I don't think anybody truly thinks it is. I think the whole motivation behind this is that some of these teams don't want to play these games. I could call right now. I could call Delta Airlines right now and say, I got COVID. They'll give me my money back for this trip. Typically, I would have had just a voucher or something. I could call work and say, oh, gosh, I got the sniffles. They'd shut the whole place down. You think that's the right way to go? If that was the case, I'd never have gotten out of high school. I never would have gotten out of elementary school. I never would have gotten out of middle school. Give me a break. This is craziness. And the adults are letting down the kids in this case. And that's what I'm saying. And I'm going to stay with it. I'll die on that flag if that's the case. You don't have to agree, but that's the way I feel about it. And I'm doing this show with Shane, and that's what they asked me to do, is tell you what I think. So that's what I think, folks. And if you don't like it, turn it off. I don't care anymore. Yeah. This COVID thing has gone on enough. The masking and the vaccination and all this other crap. We've had this vaccination situation going on, and apparently it's not really helping much, because you got teams canceling trips to Hawaii because of something that happened in South Africa that somehow found its way here. Whatever, okay? You want to play those games, go ahead, but you're talking about affecting other people and their livelihoods, and that's the problem I have about it. And if you're scared, stay home. It's just okay. And I hope it pisses off everybody who disagrees with me, because that's what I feel about right now. That's exactly how I feel. And somebody has to say something about it, because it's going to keep on going until we get the Zeta variant. You ready for that one? That's coming up.
When's that coming?
I'm tired of it. Huh? I don't know. When did you think Omicron was coming? Right in time for Christmas, I guess.
I don't follow any of it. So, real quick.
I don't know how you can't follow it. It's in the news every damn day.
Gary says, don't we play UCF in 2024 at the Swamp for a payback game? We have like a 3 games against UCF in the next 10 years. I don't know how it's all playing out. JC, I wanted to get to you before we let you go. I wanted to talk some NFL. Okay. There was somebody on this show that told me a couple of weeks ago that the Buffalo Bills were dead. I don't think anybody wants to play the Buffalo Bills right now.
Look, he had a good game, QB. I mean, are you going to ready to put him in the Super Bowl?
Their whole team did.
Josh Allen's the reason they won that game. You think they're going to go beat Kansas City and KC? You go ahead and take them.
I'm just saying.
I'll bet you right now.
They've already beaten them once in KC.
Which means what? What does that mean right now? What does that actually mean? Does that mean anything?
Means nothing. But okay. So what makes you think they're not going to beat Kansas City?
Well, because I don't think they can run the football, and I don't think Josh Allen can do it by himself. It's just like Baltimore.
Can the Chiefs run the football?
The Chiefs are just fine. I saw Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
They can't run the football either.
Well, he was in the end zone a couple times, so I don't know. Let me tell you this. If you want to take the Bills, and that's fine, take the Bills. Let's say it right now on December 27th. I got the Chiefs. You got the Bills for the AFC. You want to go there? You want to do that? Okay.
I picked Buffalo in August. So who did you pick?
I picked the Browns. Okay, then. They've got the COVID. Okay, the Browns got canceled by COVID. That's how I feel. And by the way, yes, there was some other things that canceled the Browns other than COVID. Yeah, Baker Mayfield got injured. A couple players got injured. Okay, great. Kareem Hunt got injured. Nick Chubb always gets injured. It's true. I should have factored in the injury possibilities for the Cleveland Browns, because everybody knows who and when people are going to get hurt.
Well, Buffalo's missing their 2 best corners. They're out for the year.
Yeah, okay, that's great. They don't.
So everybody has injuries.
Well, everybody does, but Buffalo's got important people that don't. And you just said the two corners, okay, fine. But the two corners wouldn't have had anything to do with them winning yesterday. It was about the quarterback. So it's going to come down to whether or not he can pull a Lamar Jackson and put the team on his shoulders by himself and win at Kansas City. And I'm telling you, he can't. And I don't think it's going to matter anyway because the NFC is going to win the Super Bowl. What do you think of that?
I don't know about that.
You don't? You think Buffalo's going to beat Green Bay, the Rams, or Dallas? You think Kansas City? Listen, they could. I mean, that could be fine. You can pick the AFC team, but I'm going to go with the NFC teams. I think the NFC teams are going to win. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of football left to be played. All I'm just saying is you don't want to play the Buffalo Bills right now.
Well, all right. They might win the division. They're tied with New England, and they win on a tiebreaker. So at 9-6, you're already crowning them the AFC champions.
They're going to win their division. And they've beaten Kansas City. They're the same exact team. They got a superstar at quarterback, and neither team can run the football, but they don't care. They're the same exact team.
Yeah, I can see that. But I'm taking the Chiefs. I'll take the Chiefs. Look, go Bills. I mean, I don't have anything wrong. I have nothing against the Buffalo Bills. God, if anything, if any fan base has suffered more than the Buffalo Bills, go ahead and tell me who it is. In terms of getting close and not winning. And Buffalo's really had their chances, but damn, I mean, I just don't think anyone's beating the Chiefs in the Arrowhead, dude. I just don't see it. Now, it's the same thing with the NFC. I don't think anybody can beat Green Bay in Green Bay. That would be a tough assignment. It did happen last year, but I don't know if that could happen now with the way Rodgers is playing.
If they have that same situation this year, they will go for it, just like Green Bay did the other day. From their own 20, they went for it. Gene says he loves the show and that JC voices his opinions. I bet if you interviewed the head coach of Washington State or Memphis, they would have the same passion about having their bowl game canceled.
Folks, I'm just going to say this. If you know anything about the Omicron variant, you want to have it. Just go ahead and get it. That's how we're going to end this. It's called natural herd immunity. Don't try and run from it. Go ahead and get it. It's not going to kill you. I just don't believe it will. I don't believe the numbers support that. I don't believe the science supports that. And that's the truth. And I don't think any healthy college kid is in danger. I think the problem is that these teams don't want to play these games. And I understand why some of that is true. But that's what I think. I don't think they want to play. And Hawaii didn't want to play. A&M didn't want to play. I don't think it has much. I mean, they want to blame COVID. That's fine. Okay, great. I don't want to work every day either. I can just call up, say it's COVID, and I'm good. So I don't know if that's what we need in this country. I don't think you can live like this. And we've gone through this for 2 years now. 2 years. We've had the protocols in place. We've got the vaccines. You can do whatever you want. If you want to mask up, wear a plastic cage over your face, do whatever you feel is necessary to stay safe. That is absolutely fine. There's no problem I have with that. You want to go get 6 jabs? Do it. But I'm telling you, this is the wrong way to approach. This is just the wrong decision making by these grown-ups, and I think they're failing the kids. That's it.
All right, JC, before we let you go, listen to this. What happened in this day in sports brought to you by Comfort Temp. Comfort is our business. Peace of mind is our promise. Comfort Temp's now hiring team members with all levels of experience. $1,000 signing bonus for qualified positions. Give them a call, 352-376-2366. 1892. Biddle University beats Livingstone College 5-0 in the first black college football game in Salisbury, North Carolina. I wonder how they were keeping score back in those days.
I don't know.
They kick a field goal and get a safety?
I don't know. They have goalposts back then?
I don't know. They won 5-0 though.
They must have. Maybe the point system was different.
Maybe they just did back like when you played out in the front yard, you score a touchdown, you get a one.
You get one. Yeah, you get one. And somebody didn't get any. That's a shame. Well, I'll tell you what, QB, we've got real quick. I know you want to move on, and that's fine. There's a couple of games that I'm going to assume are going to be played. Do you want to go and pick on them? And are we doing the show?
These are Peachland Dentistry, Gator Nation's #1 choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte and surrounding areas. Visit them at peachlanddental.com. Okay, who's playing?
Okay, so I'm not. So today you have Western Michigan laying 7 to Nevada. I kind of like Nevada.
Half of Nevada's teams. Nevada's not playing. None of their skill guys. None of their skill guys are playing, and they got like an NFL quarterback.
Okay, so you want Nevada or Okay, I'll take Western Michigan laying the 7.
I'm going to take Nevada anyway.
Yeah, okay.
Although none of their skill guys are playing.
Okay, and then real quick, Tuesday, because I won't be here Wednesday or tomorrow. I'll be here Tuesday. We've got a couple games. You want me to run through them real quick?
Yeah.
Houston is catching 2 from Auburn. So you got TJ Finley, quarterback of the Auburn Tigers. They're laying 2 in the Birmingham Bowl against Dana Holgorsen and the Houston Cougars. 2 points. I think I'm going to take Auburn.
The Houston Cougars.
Okay, all right. You like the Houston Cougars? I'll write down Auburn here. I think you're right, though. But I'm going to take Auburn laying 2. Mississippi State in the Liberty Bowl. That's one of the old goodies, old-fashioned bowls there. Oldie but goodie is laying 9.5 against Texas Tech. And I'm assuming Texas Tech has some of the same issues that Nevada has. So Mississippi State laying 9.5.
They don't have any NFL players, though.
Well, no, that's a good point. I'm going to take Mississippi State, lay the 9.5. There must be some players missing from Texas Tech.
No, Texas Tech's is not a very good football team. They're 6-6. So I like Mississippi State. Okay.
Air Force is pick them against Louisville in the First Responder Bowl.
What's that? Man, Louisville won 6 games this year. Somebody told me they would win 4.
That got paid. Go on. Louisville or Air Force? You want to take Louisville?
I like the Cardinals.
I do
like
too.
Louisville.
I don't like Air Force's too. Okay, NC State laying 2 in the Holiday Bowl. This was traditionally a really exciting game to watch. And played in San Diego, playing UCLA, and the Wolfpack traveling across the country to San Diego to play the Bruins, laying 2 points. That's a lot. I'm going to take the UCLA Bruins getting the 2 against NC State.
I like Dave Doran's crew. I think they're a better football team, and they've been there for about 5 or 6 days. They're not flying in the day of the game, so they'll be okay.
They'll be okay. All right, and then lastly, we have West Virginia in the Guaranteed Rate Bowl playing Minnesota. This is a 5-point spread. The Gophers are 5-point spread over West by God, Virginia.
Oh, man. Let me take the Mountaineers because they throw the ball.
You're going to take the Mountaineers. Okay. All right. I think so, too. That 5 points looks good. I'll take West Virginia as well. So I'm on my comeback trail right here against the QB after the woodshed job this weekend. And we've got some picks down now until Wednesday. There you go.
All right, that's JC. Join us on the Titan Tomorrow hotline. Go take a timeout, come back, answer a bunch of these Facebook Live and texts you guys are throwing at me here. You're watching and listening to Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, won't back down. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Great Clips, it's gonna be great. Our Gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, South State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co. Some of our touchdown sponsors are MB Listing, McDonald's of Gainesville, My IT Masters, Gainesville Neon and Signs, 84 Lumber, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Avera and Smith, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, Ruse Ogra Agent, State Farm Insurance, Silver Cube Billiards and Sports Bar. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit potupwithshane.com and click the advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. Celebration Points where the Gators go to celebrate with premium brands like Nike, Regal Cinnamon, Le Macaron, Dave & Buster's, Medici's, Palmetto Moon, and the HBC's restaurant Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, now serving brunch on Saturday and Sundays. We'll see you at Celebration Point where the Gators go to celebrate. I also think Spurrier's having a big New Year's Eve bash if you want to get in. That may be sold out. I'm not really sure. We can maybe put some information up there eventually on that. I think New Year's Eve, what's that, Friday? So anyway, if you're interested in going to that. John says on Facebook Live, Shane may like his Bills for whatever reason, but you have to admit the road is tougher in the NFC. Yeah, the NFC's got some good teams. I think the AFC's got some good teams as well. I just think the Bills are a complete team. However, when they lost their corner a couple of weeks ago, it really hurt them. They just got so many good skill players. And I think Josh Allen is a freak at the quarterback position. He can make so many plays with his arm and with his legs. So we'll see. James says Las Vegas got to hate these games getting canceled. Probably start betting line games they get canceled or not. I don't know what that means. Must be a typo or something like that. If you got any comments you want to shoot them to us, you can also send them to us on the Titan MR text line. I'm curious from Gator Nation, since we didn't have a show the day after the UCF loss, did your UCF friends and family give you crap after that game? It was pretty. I mean, it was packed. I was surprised at the turnout. Way more UCF fans. Andy asked here on Facebook Live, brought to you by Metal Law. Do you think there was any thought to replacing Emory with Kentner, Del Rio, Wilson at the bowl game? Why not see what they could do instead of playing a guy who is leaving? Because all the coaches were leaving. They're like, we don't really care. We're going to play Emory, who's been a stand-up guy, who's played the whole year. That's just my personal opinion of why they did that. Yeah, I mean, there's no guarantee Kentner or Del Rio are going to be on the team next year. I think Napier's going to have to sit down and have some deep conversations with these guys. And, you know, because you got Jack Miller coming in. A lot of people think he's going to be your starter next year. Anthony will be back coming off his knee injury. We don't know about his rehab, all that kind of stuff. So those will be the two guys battling out unless they sign another kid out of the transfer portal. Chris says, Shane, do you still think Mahomes is the best young QB in the league after some underwhelming performances earlier this year? I do. I'd put Josh Allen right there with him, though. I think both of them are outstanding freaks. But I've said from day one, if I was going to start a franchise from any quarterback that's ever played in the National Football League, take their age out. Just say, okay, you get to build your own franchise. You get the quarterback of your choice. Mine is Aaron Rodgers. He is so gifted. It's crazy how gifted he is at throwing the football. And but that would be the guy that I would go with. And Mahomes might be my second guy. Maybe Josh Allen's moving in there because I really like him the more I watch him play. I mean, he made some plays yesterday that were just unbelievable at the National Football League level. Let's see here. I got a text on the Titan MR text line. Shane, what were your thoughts on our guys trying to fight UCF after the game? I don't remember what I commented on the radio in our post-game comments, but it bothered me. It was just low class, ridiculous. If you didn't see it, you know, the two teams shaking hands, everybody's in the middle of the field, and we started a fight. And I just don't understand it. It's ridiculous that anybody would do that. It was somewhat embarrassing. I was embarrassed at that point. Gino asked, QB, who's your MVP of the NFL this year? Rodgers, Brady, Taylor, or Cup? I would either go with Aaron Rodgers or Taylor, the running back from Cooper Kupp's had a great year. I think the Bucs are in trouble right now. You know, I said that Brady didn't play great yesterday. Chris Godwin being out is really going to hurt them. Fournette's probably out for the year too. He may be back, but Godwin is really going to hurt them. But I would give the MVP to either Taylor or Rodgers. I mean, what Aaron Rodgers is doing is ridiculous. Chris asked, any speculation on where Rodgers will play next year? Well, I saw his post-game interview with Aaron Andrews after their game the other night, and he was loving up on the Green Bay franchise and the city of Green Bay, and I don't know. So maybe he'll be back. Brad says, I left the game at the beginning of the fourth. Never left a Gators game early, but really regretted even going. Ready for the Napier era. I think a lot of people are with you, Brad. It was hard to watch in person. We were so undisciplined pretty much the same way we were the entire year. And so I think Billy Napier had to come in here and clean house. He couldn't retain anyone from the previous staff. He's got to start from scratch and build the program the way he wants it built. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Like I said, I know he's met with a lot of the players already. We'll continue meeting with them, and we'll see if any more go into the transfer portal. If you missed it, Ventrell Miller says he's coming back for another year, as well as Justin Shorter. Two really good players that can help us. So we shall see. Let's see here. Well, I don't know why my computer is not working, but I got a text on the Titan MR text line. And it comes from Jim. Jim says, Shane, enjoyed listening to you on the call with Mick. How much preparation do you do for the games? I don't do a whole lot, quite honestly. You can prepare. I know pretty much the Gators players by their numbers. That's kind of what you call. I knew a few of the UCF players. Probably should know them a little bit better, but I do know this: the two players, the Bowers kid and the little wide receiver, were excellent football players. I thought they were the two best players on the field. And so, from a preparation standpoint, that's more for Mick. Mick has to call out all those guys' names. He has a spotter and things of that nature. But so yeah. But if you watch a lot of college football, you know who can who's playing where. Eric's got a great question here on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mello. Why can't Memphis go play in El Paso against Washington State? That's a great question. I don't know. Do not know. Why is my computer freezing up to read these questions? Let's do this. Let's take a quick timeout, come back. Maybe my computer will unfreeze. And I can answer your comments and questions on Facebook Live and on the Titan MR text line. You're watching and listening to Pot Up with Matthews in the Morning.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, won't back down. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Great Clips, it's gonna be great. Our Gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, South State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co. Some of our touchdown sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union, Adams Rib Company, Doreen Wiebe Realtor, Caldwell Banker, MM Parish, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Rap Spot, Okido America, Gators Dockside, Style Cuts, Big Mills Cheesesteaks. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit potupwithshane.com and click the advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Are you tired of being sidelined by nagging pain? Hi, I'm Emmitt Smith, Hall of Famer and Dance with the Stars champion. Happy to tell you about QC Kinetics and their biologic therapies for treating pain without drugs or surgery.
Are you suffering from chronic pain in your hips, knees, shoulder, or lower back? Are you tired of living with arthritis pain? QC Kinetics offers natural pain treatment that can repair and restore damaged tissue in your joints.
Listen, I know pain, and I've seen firsthand how powerful biologic therapies can be. Patients at QC Kinetics rave about their result because they're getting their lives back. They're getting moving again.
These exciting regenerative treatments used to be available only to pro athletes like Emmitt. Now they're available to anyone thanks to QC Kinetics. Call today for your free consultation.
Get long-lasting results from my friends at QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics 352-400-4550. In North Central Florida, call 352-400-4550. QC Kinetics 352-400-4550.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. At South State Bank, we understand that small businesses need a community business partner that they can rely on. South State has 4 convenient Alachua County locations. South State Bank, banking forward, member FDIC. I want to thank JC for joining us on the Titan Tomorrow hotline. Got a couple of texts here. We've got a Facebook Live brought to you by Mellon Law. Rick says, just because your best players are out for a game is not a reason to opt out. Next man up and play with who you have. They deserve to go to a bowl game, even if they are walk-ons. I agree 110% with that, Rick. Appreciate you shooting that to us. We got a Titan Tomorrow text from Gary. He says, Shane, the Gator that was ejected for throwing a punch was spit on. Any truth to that? I've heard that. I don't know. Even if you are spit on, it doesn't mean you should punch a guy. It was Tyron Hopper who was flying around making plays. I like him. I think he's a guy that can really help us on defense next year. So I don't know if he really got spit on or not, but regardless, no reason to no reason to swing at somebody. It's just not a good thing. Being disciplined. Got to stay disciplined. We had too many personal fouls after the whistle the other night. It looked ridiculous. There goes my computer freezing up again. We had somebody ask me here. Here it is. John says, who is a non-QB player that you would start an NFL team with? Probably Alvin Kamara would be my guy. You can do so much with him out of the backfield. I think he's outstanding, but he's been hurt this year. John says, we need to hear you do color for Gator softball. Now, that would be fun. That would be a lot of fun. I'm a diehard softball fan. Andy says, I think the after-game fight was related to number 15 on UCF, who has been talking trash after Shorter got injured. Okay, well, I'm not sure. Anyway, we don't need to be fighting anybody. It's a culmination of the entire season right there. The last thing that happened. Do you lose a football game to a in-state team that you, like I said, it was a no-win situation playing them. You lose to them, just shake their hand and go to the locker room. Chris says, why the heck was he not on the field all year? I think he's referring to Hopper. He played sparingly here and there, but yeah, I'm with you. He's a really, really good player that didn't get enough playing time. At Chris Storing Mortgage, they do mortgage lending right, helping home buyers throughout Gainesville and North Central Florida. Call Chris Storing Mortgage today at 352-244-0840. Appreciate everybody chiming in with their Facebook Lives and their texts on the Titan Tomorrow text line. Hope you enjoyed today's show. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. Today's show's a wrap brought to you by Route Spot. Enjoy your Monday.